All right, so welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Dayo, and I'm going to be talking about the top credit cards choices for 2020 for beginners. And I'm just going to be going over some of the few cards that I started off with in college and some that I've kept up until now. Okay, starting off with the very first credit card, it's going to be the Discover Cashback credit card. So I also want to say if you don't have any credit, it's probably going to be wise for you to start with the secured version of a credit card. And the difference between a secured version and a regular credit card is the secured version. What you're going to do is, for example, you're going to give Discover 200 to like whatever amount you want to give up front. I would say don't give any more than 250, and that's going to be your credit limit. So your credit limit is going to be $250. So if you make your payments on time and you keep the balance in good standing, what Discover is going to do, or any other company, within 6 to 12 months, they're actually going to refund you that $250 that you deposited, and they're going to transition your card over into an actual credit card. That way you can continue building credit, and it's not going to reset your age limit on your credit card. So the Discover Cashback card, this was the very first credit card that I got. Another thing I want to say is if you are a college student, they also have a Discover It student card. Discover It student cashback card. And what that is, if you have above a 3.0 GPA, it's kind of like a honor system. So if you say you have above a 3.0 GPA for that semester, they'll give you $20 cash back. And what I really like about the Discover Cashback card is that it has revolving cashback categories over the course of the year. So the first quarter is usually, it's usually groceries and gas. The second quarter, it's usually going to be regarding transportation. So it's going to be gas stations, Uber, Lyft. And then the third quarter, it's going to be, I know there's PayPal, restaurants as well is going to be included in there. And then the last quarter is when you do a lot of your holiday shopping. And that's when you get 5% back on Walmart, Target, and Amazon.com. And the really nice thing with the Discover Cashback card is that for the first year that you have your card, all the cash back you earn within that first year, they'll actually match it. So let's say hypothetically, you make $300 in cashback rewards over the first year that you have the Discover It card. What Discover's gonna do, they're actually gonna match that. So you're actually gonna be getting $600 after your first year. So Discover is a really, really good credit card that I highly recommend. Let me see. Oh, another big thing. So if you are a student and you sign up with the Discover It Student Cashback Rewards card, once you graduate or once you put in your graduation date and that date finally hits, this is what happened for me, is they'll actually not immediately, but after a month after you graduate, they're going to double your limit. So my limit went from around like $4,000 to $10,000 after I graduated. So Discover is super, super nice. I've never had any problems with their app on my phone. Their customer service is great. And like I said, I highly recommend. This is my #1 choice for people just starting off with a credit card. All right, so moving on to the second credit card that I highly recommend. It is going to be the American Express Blue Cash Everyday. And I'm trying my best to block out my information on the card. But it's kind of transparent. There's some, I guess, I don't want to say crystals, but it's kind of glittery. It looks really, really good. I got a compliment once when I first got it. But what I like about this card is, first and foremost, I would say, in my experience, American Express has some of the best customer service when it comes to credit cards or credit card companies. Their chat is always responsive. No matter what time of the day it is, I'm able to reach them. When I call them, they're always super nice, always informative. And just overall, even using their app on my phone, it's really great. And the website is really fleshed out. So American Express right now is currently one of my favorite credit card companies to be a member with. So what you want to know about this credit card is that you get 3% cash back on U.S. supermarkets for up to $6,000 for the annual year. And then after the year is up, it's going to drop back down to 1%. And then you get 2% back on U.S. department stores. And that's mainly, I guess, like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, all those other department stores, Macy's. Then you get 2% back on U.S. gas stations. So MAPCO, Shell, all those gas stations, you get 2% back on that. And then you have 1% cash back on everything else. Like I said in my notes, I have customer service is top notch. It's some of the best in the business. And from my experience, American Express is also really generous with their limit. Right now, they have the highest limit out of all my cards, some of them even combined. So, highly recommend American Express. What's it called? Blue Cash Every Day. So it's going to be the one that's kind of see-through. And I forgot to iterate this. All these cards that I'm recommending, they have no annual fee. And I know on American Express, they have the Blue Cash Every Day, and then there's the Blue Cash Everyday Preferred. Make sure you don't get the Preferred Edition. You want to get the one that has no annual fee. The Preferred Edition, it's pretty much double all the percentages, but you pay a $95 annual fee, and I don't recommend that. Also with the Blue Cash Every Day, if you spend, I believe, let me look at my notes. If you spend $1,000 in the first 3 months, you get $150 credit back. So I'm not advising you to go out and, if you usually don't spend $1,000, please don't go and get this card, spend $1,000 and then get back $150. That just doesn't make sense. Just use the card like you normally do, pay it off, and once you get that $1,000, sorry, hit my stand. Once you hit that $1,000, you're gonna get back $150. Okay, moving on to the third recommended card. It is the Capital One Quicksilver. And there is also a secured edition of the Quicksilver, similar to the Discover one. And Capital One has 1% cash back on all your purchases. So with this one compared to American Express, if you spend $500 in the first 3 months, you get $150 back in credit. So if you don't usually spend $1,000, maybe the Capital One Quicksilver is probably a better choice for you. Also with the Quicksilver, it has that tap feature. My Discover card for some reason doesn't have that, but the app for Capital One is great. So is the website. It also has a built-in credit score reporter called CreditWise. I find it to be extremely helpful because it updates every 7 days. The one disadvantage I would say with Capital One, this is just my personal experience, is that they aren't that generous with their credit limits. Whenever I try to request more, they usually give me like $300 to like $500 increase in the credit limit. So it's not like I spend that much on the card, but it'd be nice to have a higher limit just to have a lower credit utilization score, which impacts your credit score. Other than that, their customer service is extremely good. I usually end up calling them, but because I don't think they have a messaging system, but every time I call them, they're super nice, always helpful, going the extra mile. I'd probably put them, if I had to rank them in terms of customer service, I'd say American Express, Charles Schwab, which I won't talk about in this video today, Discover, and then Capital One. So it's really close. It's not like it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all really, really good. Okay, so moving on to the next one, I'm going to be talking about the Chase Freedom Unlimited. And I actually don't have this card with me because I got previous cards before, and Chase is really stingy, in my opinion, about when it comes to approving people for their application. That's the word that I'm looking for. And they have their 524 rule. And every time I get the card, every time I apply, they just say that my credit history is not enough, or that's pretty much the only thing they send me in the mail. But it's almost identical to the Capital One card. So if you don't like Capital One and you rather have Chase and get into the trifecta that they have, get the Chase Freedom Unlimited. So with this card, you get 1% cash back on all your purchases. And then with the reward, you have, trying to think. With the reward, it's similar to Capital One, where if you spend $500 in the first month, you get back $150 in credit. So like I said, it's a little bit more manageable than the American Express card, but I highly recommend the American Express card just in terms of their benefits, their rewards. And I personally haven't had any experience with Chase customer service, but I would assume it's probably just as good because they have a really good travel credit card. So I haven't heard any bad things when it comes to Chase customer service, but just know in my experience, I haven't had them. So if you get this card and you have a bad experience with their customer service, I'm sorry, but I have no experience saying that. I don't have any stories to tell you. So Okay, so for the last two cards, I actually don't have them, but I have a card that's very similar to them. It's going to be the Amazon Prime Reward Visa Signature, and then there's the regular Amazon Reward Visa Signature. And this is the, if it will focus, it's the Amazon Business Prime. So this one is more similar to the Amazon Prime Rewards. This is just a business card that I use for my business. So it's 5% back on Amazon.com, AWS, and Whole Foods. And there's also like a 90-day payment plan that you can do. But the nice thing about these Amazon cards, if you have Amazon Prime, I would recommend getting the Amazon Prime Reward Visa Signature. And if you don't have Prime, just get the regular Amazon Reward Visa Signature card. God, that's a mouthful to say. But starting off with the Amazon Prime Visa Signature card, I said that backwards, but there's no foreign transaction fees, which is good. So if you do a lot of traveling and want to use this card, don't have to worry about getting any foreign transaction fees. Once you get approved for this card, you actually get $70 back in an Amazon gift card. So that's just Amazon's gift to you for signing up with them. And just to let you guys know, these two cards are through Chase, and I actually tried to apply for these cards about, I'd say 2.5 years ago, and they rejected me. Chase directly rejected me, not Amazon. So with the Prime, you get 5% back at Amazon.com and Whole Foods. So if you shop at Whole Foods, this is a really good card. You get 2% back on restaurants, gas stations, and drugstores. So that would be, I would assume, Walmart, and not Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, those type of drugstores. And then you get 1% cash back on everything else. So the only difference between the Amazon Prime card and the regular Amazon Rewards card is that the percentages are a little bit halved, and the reward bonus that you get when you get approved, instead of $70, it's getting cut back down to $50. But I still think those are two really good benefits for just signing up with a card. The other two cards, you have to spend money to get money back, but with the Amazon cards, once you get approved, you immediately get that gift card back. But with the regular Amazon card, you get 3% cash back on Amazon.com, and then 3% cash back at Whole Foods. So like I said, if you shop at Whole Foods, this is a really good card that you should think about getting. And then you get 2% cash back on the restaurants, gas stations, and the drugstores, and then 1% cash back on everything else. So the main difference is that the Amazon.com and Whole Foods is just halved. So if you have a business, I would say, because the Business Prime account, or the Business Prime card, for one, it's metal. Sounds nice, has some weight to it. People definitely think, because it's also, instead of Chase, it's with American Express. And sometimes people think it's like the black American Express card, but it's not. I don't have that much wealth, and I don't think I would ever pay that annual fee to have that card. But those are my top recommendations for beginner credit cards. If you want more videos like this, recommendation for credit cards, I also have the American Express Gold card. I don't use, actually swapped out, let me cover this and this. I have the Gold card. I've also been a member since 2017, so 3 years now. So instead of using the Blue Cash every day, I actually converted to the Gold card, because the Gold card there's some flex to it. Obviously, there's an annual fee, $250, or it's either $200 or $250, but there's a lot of benefits with that card. But if you guys want me to discuss about the Gold card in another video, I can do that. But if you like the video, please make sure to leave a like. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. Really does help the channel grow. I'm trying to hit at least 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Also, just want to help people with their financial situation. So that's it for today's video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Peace.